Have you ever laughed so hysterically that you questioned your sanity? Me and two of my friends were working on a movie. But we messed up some files. And accidentally replaced the black screen after a character's suicide with a panorama of cinnamon rolls. My mom once said boo to my dad, who kept hiccuping to make him stop. She said it in the most innocent and pure way that we couldn't stop laughing. The laughing went on for like an hour though. This is the end bloopers when they're talking about their religion and Craig Robinson says and Danny's Muslim and Danny McBride just says shalom. It's not even that funny, but I lose my shit every single time. Sometime in the mid to late aughts, my husband was on the phone with iRobot customer support regarding our Roomba. I was in another room, but I could hear his side of the conversation clearly. And I could tell he wasn't getting the results he'd hoped for. As he got more frustrated, he blurted out, "I've had problems with this robot since the day I brought it home." Something about that particular phrase just hit me hard. I immediately started laughing. And couldn't stop. I was still laughing when he got off the phone. Understandably, he wanted to know what was wrong with me. Through maniacal laughter, I parroted the phrase back to him, which had something of a feedback loop effect on my laughter. It's been over a decade, but thinking of that phrase still makes me giggle. I don't remember the context, but my best friend and I, then in our pre-teens/early teens, were flopping around on her bedroom floor and screaming fish out of water. We insisted on showing her mom, who looked at us like we were on meth. I almost passed out. I could not breathe from laughing so hard. Me and some friends went on a trip with this youth leadership organization. The trip was supposed to last 5 days. But our flight back home was delayed a full 22 hours. We ended up staying in a hotel and playing Cards Against Humanity. I think the prompt had something to do with the worst line on a first date or something like that. One of us answered yeast. We laughed for 10 full minutes and my sides hurt for the rest of the night. Me and my friend nearly ended ourselves laughing at the Benedict Cumberbatch memes, Benadryl Cabbage Patch and so on. It was at the point where it physically hurts to laugh. Edit. Wow. I woke up to more than 8K upvotes and 3 awards. It's heartwarming to see that in such shitty times simple things can unite us all in laughter. I have loved reading new variations and silently shaking with laughter next to my sleeping other half. Thank God for COVID-19 Christmas mask. His name is the gift that keeps giving. This actually happened to me and a friend of mine. We were high and typing random phrases into Google Translate. He suggested I type in dingleberries and translate it to Spanish. It translated to Beos del Dingle. For some reason we lost our shit at that. I don't think we stopped laughing for half an hour. My head was throbbing from laughing so hard and my lungs hurt. A few weeks back I was taking a shower and I looked at my foot and it just looked so stupid that I started laughing and couldn't stop. Like I had these weird paw-like failed hands attached to my legs and they were so ridiculous looking. And I was just going around with my body ending that way. I laughed at my foot for about 5 straight minutes. I was breastfeeding my newborn in the middle of the night and watching Dave Chappelle. The Rick James skit was on. I cried, laughed so hard that my husband woke up and took the baby away because he was afraid I was going to drop him. He asked me what was wrong and I snorted, "I'm Rick James, bitch." He was not amused. I was in an SAT class and we were going over practice questions. The instructor read out a group of spoon collectors. And I began laughing so hard and for so long that I had to leave the classroom. I'm over it now, but it was troubling. Misheard an episode of Octonauts about the coconut crab. The phrase astronaut crabs conjured simultaneous images of crabs in spacesuits and also giant crabs cracking open astronauts with their claws. And I absolutely lost it. I could hardly breathe. There were tears of mirth. My children were terrified but also trying to keep up with the joke, which I could barely explain. We still talk about it, but it will never be quite as funny as when my brain caught me by surprise. Late at night during a middle school sleepover, my friends and I started to play a board game called Worst Case Scenario. The cover has 2 pictures on it. One of a shark and one of a man running from a swarm of bees. Somebody pointed out it looked like the guy was running from the bees straight into the shark's mouth and we laughed for 10 minutes straight. The true worst case scenario. In high school, a guy at my table was asked if he ever had sex. And with the most straight face said no, but I've seen dogs do it. His frankness and deadpan attitude made me laugh so hard and for so long I was worried that I was going to pass out. My friend and I were watching Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs when we were about 12. There's a scene in that movie where a giant bowl of water spills on everybody sitting in bleachers. And there's a guy in the splash zone ready to get wet. Except everybody except him gets splashed instead. And he throws his hat on the ground and yells, "Ah! Come on!" My friend and I laughed our asses off at this. And this eventually led to us replaying a ton of scenes in slow motion. Zoomed in. Etc. It was a windy day and I was eating a bagged lunch with my co-workers. Suddenly a huge gust of wind blows the bag and all my food away, leaving me staring at an empty table with a fork in my hand. I didn't even try to catch it. I just started laughing so hard I had to lay on the ground. I didn't question my sanity. But I got stuck in a laughing loop with my then 1-year-old son. He was laughing at my laugh and I was laughing at his. It was the better part of an hour and we were both exhausted afterward. It was over 30 years ago and it still makes me some when I think about it. It was actually something in an askreddit thread. The question was something along the lines of what is an unsolved mystery or paranormal activity that cannot be explained. Someone's reply was that one time when they were younger they farted and the TV turned off. I have no idea why. But something about how it was sandwiched between much more serious replies just made me lose it. I was laughing so much my wife came to ask what was so funny. Her reaction, basically calling me an idiot, made me laugh even more. Even as I type this comment I'm grinning like an idiot thinking about it. Edit, whoa, this blew up. Wife is still sleeping beside me and I'm giggling reading all these replies. Thanks for all the awards and all the laughs. This is what makes Reddit awesome. There's a sticker in my phone keyboard gallery of a purple llama with a box of carrots and it says busy. I saw it at work and laughed so hard I was crying. I legitimately could not stop my brain from recalling the image. I had to leave work. Edit, it's actually a person dressed up in a purple llama suit, drama llama. I'm in Toys R Us with my 3-year-old who suddenly says she has to go to the bathroom. Oh no, number 1 or 2? 2. I grab her hand and rush to find an employee. Do you have a bathroom? Yes, but it's all the way on the other end of the store. I turn to my daughter, we gotta run, okay? Nah, don't worry. I blew it out. What's that now? I blew it out. I could barely carry my shitty daughter through the store because I was laughing uncontrollably. Had to ditch her pants and underwear in the bathroom garbage and carry her naked ass out with my coat wrapped around her waist. Still laughing hysterically. I must have looked absolutely insane. Many years ago, I went through about a week-long phase where I simply could not read my credit card number over the phone without laughing hysterically. No reason. It just started one day. Then I think I got all up in my head and it just snowballed from there. Every time I tried to order food, confirm some travel reservation, whatever, I would start laughing and it would take me forever to get through the number. The surprising thing was how infectious the laughter was. I thought the people on the other end of the phone would be annoyed. But probably 9 times out of 10 they'd start laughing too. It was like some virulent mindworm of contagious hysteria. And then just as suddenly as it started, it was over. Hasn't happened since, though I still brace myself every time just in case. Last night I randomly thought of a line from one of those Markov chain generators. This was from an automatically generated Hallmark movie. And the line was, int. Small town snow globe refillery. Mother, I fill snow globes with snow globe juice better than Jesus Claus. That's probably not what it word for word said. As it's been a while since I saw it. But it was so random that I couldn't even explain why I was laughing. Really high. Doing a puzzle with my husband and we were eating the shittiest frozen pizza we had ever eaten. Like. Just the worst. It was supposed to be garlic cheese and it tasted like absolute nothing and cardboard. So we started pulling everything out of the fridge to put on it and make it better. Finally, my husband decided he was going to cook a bunch of hot dogs and roll them up in the pizza. Somehow, the concept of hot dog pizza was so incredibly funny. We both started laughing and couldn't stop. I laughed so hard. For so long it became physically painful and I couldn't breathe. But I couldn't stop laughing, so I was just barking out this weird honking cough. By the time we stopped laughing, I was pretty sure I had laughed myself sober. We marked the date on our calendar so we never forgot Hot Dog Pizza Day. And a month after that night, Pizza Hut came out with hot dog crust pizza, and I swear they were spying on us. Edit, for anyone who wanted to know. Hot Dog Pizza Day is October 13th. I was in the grocery store about 2 weeks ago and went to grab some eggs. As I opened the box to check them, I was reminded of a post on Reddit about a guy that went a great deal of his life not knowing why people open egg boxes, but was nervous if he didn't do it people would stare at him, so he would open them just to look the part. Started laughing out loud while looking at eggs. People were staring at me. I never got out of there so fast. LOL. I was cackling like a witch at a memory that wasn't even that funny. I just remembered I had accidentally called a cup of tea a cup of tea. What made me look insane was that I started bursting out laughing in the backseat of my mum's car when her and my sister was talking about how many people had died BC of the last pandemic. Yeah, that was probably horrific to hear. No, but way back when in high school the teacher wrote newspaper but the O looked close to an O. So a kid laughed hysterically for a few minutes because it looked like newspaper. Which is pretty funny. But I wouldn't say multiple minutes funny. Thanks for watching.